Watching movies like Final Destination has taught me one thing. You can't cheat death, you shouldn't drive behind trucks carrying logs, you should study harder in math class, and when experiencing curses and accidents, it's probably best to talk to a therapist. No, it is best to talk to a therapist, and thankfully, you don't need to be trapped in death's design to justify talking to one. Therapy is a powerful tool for any and everyone who wants to explore their thoughts, emotions, and experiences in a safe environment. That's why BetterHelp is sponsoring this video, because everyone could use a little help navigating life. With BetterHelp, there are no waiting rooms, awkward small talk, or falling logs. You can talk to your therapist by phone, video, or message. And if they aren't the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time with no extra cost. Head to betterhelp.com/CinemaSins and get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/CinemaSins. I believe it was a car driving over a railroad track loudly to hopefully induce a jump scare from the viewing audience, but that is just a really fucking stupid way to start your movie. Also, how ironic. These people drove over the very railroad tracks that will factor into the death of their grandchildren 50 years later. Oh my god, that is positively Machiavellian.
Hey, you said you like surprises.
Yeah, I do, when I know what they are.
I've watched a lot of horror movies and I'm ridiculously tired of what passes as banter between couples while driving cars in these movies cliche. The ghost of Johnny Cash would kill us if we played the song, but it's Ring of Fire, which is exactly what all these restaurant goers will be experiencing after this asshole kid throws a penny from the observation deck. Anyway, death could have been a lot more subtle if he had somehow made the foreshadowing death song Pennies from Heaven. You're not immune from the criticism of CinemaSins. Death?
Hey! Don't steal coins from the fountain. It's bad luck.
Getting reprimanded for stealing coins because it's bad luck, and not because Larry Smith was about to get lucky with Raquel Welch until his penny got pulled from the fountain. And yes, this security guard should know all this, because everyone remembers Larry Smith making that wish with this very easily recognizable, even from a distance, penny. Also stealing.
And even more impressive, the entire project was completed 5 months ahead of schedule.
Is that a good thing?
Iris would be excellent at restaurant construction sins. Kids. Movie steals the setting from the movie Drop just 1 month after that movie came out.
We have a reservation. Campbell.
Oh, I'm sorry, but we're already over capacity for opening night. We cannot accommodate you.
With a restaurant that requires a several-minute elevator ride to the top, why aren't they checking the reservations on the ground floor? Because they fucking should be.
It's okay. I worked it out with Jake. Is he here? I could speak.
We let Jake go this morning.
This completely uninteresting moment where Iris and Paul are denied a table because fucking Jake fucked everything up. It's a waste of time and it changes nothing. Creme brulee shadowing. This dance floor that says "F you" to every acrophobic in existence.
Don't throw that penny. It could kill somebody.
Oh, I'm so sorry, of course. Yeah. Fat ass.
I know this one already got a kid's sin, but he deserves at least 100 more. He might be the shittiest kid to ever shitty a shit movie or something. He sucks.
You mean with us?
Ruining a marriage proposal with a pregnancy announcement. Scene contains a shout, but does not contain an Animal House. I don't understand when and why this place changed from a swanky restaurant's opening night, which started as a relatively quiet dining experience, into a full-fledged rocking dance hall. I know everyone is having fun on this dance floor, but considering that one of the perks of it is that you can see through it all the way to D.B. Cooper's death, I'm calling bullshit on no one seeing the giant cracks forming on it right now. Man, this remake of Magnolia is terrible. Abraham Lincoln yet again involved in a catastrophe of theatrical proportions.
I realize vector multiplication is scary, but it's not that scary.
And that statement isn't that funny, and yet many students laugh at it anyway, despite the fact that they just watched a fellow student having a meltdown in the middle of the lecture that would have had me looking for the exits. If the movie was going to show Stephanie waking up and screaming after her recurring nightmare in this scene, why did it bother showing her waking up and screaming in the middle of the class less than a minute ago? The problem this causes for Stephanie is a threat to her scholarship, exposition, which could have been taken care of back in class.
Every night, Steph.
Every night? And neither of you have made different sleeping arrangements? Or invested in earplugs?
So the woman in my dream, her name is Iris, right? That was my grandmother's name.
Based on this very flimsy reason, Stephanie will now embark on a journey to find her grandmother, even though she doesn't know what she looks like and can't verify the woman in the dream is her.
Either go home and find out about Grandma and hope that stops the dreams.
Why would that stop the dreams? Has therapy ever occurred to Stephanie even once? Also, either Death somehow gave Stephanie these nightmares so that she would get curious about them and find her grandmother so that she would let her guard down to finish the job, or Death has an unexplained nemesis who is suddenly giving relatives nightmares instead of outright visions, a complete change in the franchise canon that needs an explanation right here, right now, Van Halen be damned. Driving. Having a partial vision while driving. Excitement?
Charlie took your room a while ago, and my files are in his room, so I made up the pullout for you. Is that okay?
There's no shame in just making it so her old room is still available. Why did the movie go through all this trouble?
I just need to find Mom's mom, Iris.
Okay, yeah, that is weird.
Yes, agreed. Super weird someone would want to find their grandmother.
I dreamed a hot dog ate me last night.
Movie chooses not to show us the dream where a hot dog ate Charlie, and I hate that I really want to see that. You know what, if you're going to have a move in a video game that is classified as a fatal blow, then the character on the receiving end of it shouldn't be alive anymore. And they definitely shouldn't be able to get back up and perform a fatal blow of their own. And the game definitely shouldn't acknowledge it as a fatal blow before the move is even performed.
I can't pause already. It's an online match.
Yeah, sure, you can't pause, but you can get up from the couch while you play the game, right? Entirely too much time focusing on the start button of this lawnmower that will one day kill Uncle Howard. Heist Beer makes several Easter egg appearances in this movie, and I'm wondering why a Final Destination focusing on Bloodlines didn't make it about the Heist family.
She started sending us these horrible letters that were full of obituaries and these disturbing pictures of dead bodies.
Oh, but don't worry, despite your grandmother being a major source of pain to your aunt and me, and despite those letters being so terrible, we kept them in a box in a drawer for plot purposes.
Do not look in the bottom drawer of the dining room cabinet.
Also, you keep pictures of dead people and horrible letters from your crazy mother-in-law in the dining room? In a movie filled with ominous signs of death everywhere, they saved the worst one for Stephanie's license plate. Also, this is where Iris chose to live so that she could avoid death more easily. But this is prime real estate for wildfires, which I am gobsmacked Death hasn't tried on this property yet. Over no trespassing signing your front gate.
Empty your pockets. Phone, keys, everything.
If a phone or keys or anything else in her pockets can cause death, then her clothes can cause death too. Surprisingly, I'm not saying this to be perfect. Anyway, does Iris not notice Stephanie's necklace? Protecting yourself from a bunch of random sharp items Death could find a way to impale you on by surrounding your house with a bunch of random sharp items Death could find a way to impale you on.
Years ago, I got a glimpse into the future and saw what Death was about to do.
Previously on 30 Minutes Ago on Final Destination Bloodlines.
These past 2 years have been absolutely magical.
There were clearly some ums and slight pauses the first time Paul went through this proposal to Iris. The movie doesn't know how to flash back to the flashback correctly.
Death doesn't like it when you f with his plans.
This was not the tagline for any of the Final Destination movies. Considering how easy it was for Death to set up a potential death trap here, I'm going to go ahead and say it's ridiculous that he hasn't beaten Iris yet. Also, this movie has way more of a belief that the sunlight from a magnifying glass at this distance could burn through this rope than I do.
I see you, you f***.
This franchise has gotten to the point now where Death is just a meta version of itself. It's as much of a nightmare killer as Freddy Krueger ever was. The main character in this one is literally dreaming the vision now. The characters are even talking to Death now. I'm guessing by the next film, Final Destination, the final Final Destination, Death will start making wisecracks and calling everyone a bitch for some random reason.
The outside world is too dangerous. I haven't stepped out there in 20 years.
I know we're in a modern world where the groceries and necessities can come to you, but based on Iris's reluctance to even let her granddaughter through the front gate, how is she able to maneuver this daily routine with Amazon drivers and DoorDash? All the unnecessary work that went into this notebook, which looks like John Doe from Seven contributed forward to.
You still don't believe me? Step back.
Iris hasn't stepped outside in 20 goddamn years and didn't even want to let her granddaughter through the front gate. But now she's willing to throw everything away just to prove to Stephanie that she's not full of shit. Do I think it's possible a grandmother would sacrifice herself for her granddaughter? Absolutely. Has this movie given me enough to make me believe it would happen in this moment? Absolutely not.
Seeing is believing.
Exactly, which is why I wonder why Death even wanted Stephanie to witness this. But of course, I have a sneaking suspicion that the Final Destination Death fancies himself an entertainer. There are millions of boring deaths every day. Why not make a handful of them fun? I kind of wish these movies would tell the story from his perspective for a change. A rise of Leslie Vernon for Death fans like Thanos.
Hey, Steph. Her face really exploded right in front of you.
Just gonna sin myself for how much I kind of love Eric and want to be his friend.
She said something to me before she died. She said Death was coming for our family. That's crazy, right?
It's crazy that Death was nice enough to wait for Stephanie to get back to give her family the message before starting up the family kill chain. The movie does a whole lot to build up the drama surrounding Stephanie's mom, who abandoned her family. But I'm not even sure who Stephanie is at this point, and I'm not sure I care about any of it. I feel like this movie could have done without it and would have been the same quality. I've watched, rewound, and rewatched this scene many times, and I can't figure out why Stephanie wants to talk to Professor Leo about a famous Batman comic. Breaking a glass on a sink filled with ice and not checking to see if any glass got in the sink full of ice. Fucking Bobby. Why can't you be more insensitive in a funny way like your brother Eric?
Oh my god, there's a bug in there.
Really? How fucking big was that bug? Because you really made it seem like you had swallowed the jagged piece of glass that we're all expecting to make an appearance any minute now. And if we take a look at the glass before you took a swig, there was definitely not a bug that would have caused that reaction. Seriously, this notebook that Iris apparently created and lived by to avoid death is goddamn useless to anyone else who reads it. It contains practically no good advice, and it's the be yourself of avoiding death platitudes. I guess it's kind of interesting that Iris has clearly had visions of the incidents in the previous films, but regardless, it's annoying as that Final Destination feels the need to be the 97th Legacy franchise entry to feel the need to tie all the goddamn movies together. And if we never get the Halloween that incorporates Season of the Witch into the overall mythology, then all these have been for naught, and I'm going to fucking riot harder than a Hollywood Undead concert.
It's okay.
Ah, I see Uncle Howard bought one of those lawnmowers where there are no safety features whatsoever. How many times has the company who made this model been sued, do you think? In this notebook filled with ramblings, Iris decided to randomly write about someone named JB, who found someone who survived. And there is absolutely no context, no details, and no explanation. Almost like it was written by someone who wanted there to be a mystery for a protagonist in a movie to solve. Why the f*** did Iris use all this red tape when compiling all these newspaper articles? I know she did this in a family tree style, but this tape covers up many of the stories you'd want to read while doing your research. And there has got to be a better way to organize this shit.
They are obituaries and articles for the people who were at the Skyview on the night that Iris had her premonition.
In every Final Destination movie, the chief protagonist is in a group where they know the victims. Therefore, it's easy to see how fucking weird it is that people around them keep dying in unusual ways. But in Iris's case, she only knew her husband. So if some rando from the restaurant died, how would she know who they were when their grisly death made the papers? Okay, so maybe the survivors befriended her afterwards and she started keeping tabs on them, but we were told that Iris didn't start acting crazy until Paul died. Paul would have been roughly the 11th victim at the restaurant, so she would have been obsessed long before his death if she had been keeping track of everyone before he died. My next question is, why did death take so long to kill the survivors at the restaurant, but especially Paul, who was an early victim? The movie's answer is that death was going after the kids of the survivors, but more on that in the next scene. The point is, every Final Destination movie makes pretty quick work of all the survivors. In this movie, Paul is able to father 2 children, and they grow up to be school age before death finally gets to him. Furthermore, Iris figured out that the children who should have never been born were also getting killed. So how many people at that restaurant had kids after they were rescued? Either death was taking his sweet-ass time killing all those people, or everybody was pregnant while they danced to shout on the dance floor, and death allows a grace period for expecting families.
I don't think this is the appropriate time for this.
How in the hell did she get everyone in this living room for a presentation? Did she put posters around the house that said, sex? Now that I've got your attention, I've got an important message about the death of Uncle Howard that's gonna blow your socks off.
I love you, but sometimes I really hate you.
I wish more of these films would just do the George Clooney speech in From Dusk Till Dawn and have everybody believe that shit immediately and stop wasting our time. Everything about this is setting up a classic Final Destination death, only it's one huge fake out, which means death is orchestrating not only elaborate deaths, but elaborate cheats as well. I sometimes wonder if death is filming all this in an alternate dimension and showing it to us as some sort of cosmic snuff film, complete with creative liberties. Also, we're going to find out Eric is not even on Death's hit list, so why is Death even doing all the Rube Goldberg bullshit and fucking up his night? Does Death just hate air supply so much it needs to prove a point? And that only makes sense if you can hear the music, but if you get it, you get it. Eric survives this.
My friend just said the tattoo parlor burned down last night.
Your friend told you that? Why didn't Eric tell you that, since he's still alive? This asshole is walking out in the middle of the road, and apparently his 2 cousins have zero idea a car is speeding down the road towards him. Of course, considering that cars only make noise when they're about to plow into someone, it's understandable, I guess. Cars are like velociraptors.
What happened to you?
Charbroiled by death, apparently.
How did no one in Eric's family know he had gone to the hospital? I would think, especially after Uncle Howard's face got mown, keeping up with her children would be priority number 1 on Aunt Brenda's list.
Eric, just stay away from this truck.
Stephanie has officially become annoying, and I guess that's part of the message of this movie. You can't live life constantly being afraid of death. So, in other words, I think I just proved that Stephanie is the antagonist, and we should be seeing William Sadler as Death drawing up murder blueprints at his workshop any minute now. Having sex with a tire without its explicit consent.
For our family.
So in this installment, Death is not only chasing after its victims, but also trying to win the grand prize on America's Funniest Home Videos. It was sad to learn that Death lost out after pissing off Alfonso Ribeiro by being the 9,978th person to ask him to do the Carlton. What's amazing about this garbage truck is how it apparently no longer needs to make any stops along the road, even though it was regularly doing so just before this. Employee wearing headphones doesn't hear a goddamn thing cliche. Also, with this guy driving while headphoning, that's worth about 4 more cents. Also, Crusher. Also, the song he's listening to, Kelly Clarkson's Stronger, includes lyrics such as, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." But since Julia is about to die in a very horrible way, I feel like Death is being very confusing with its musical choices, which are usually so on point. And yes, we would have seen that as well, so f*** you for asking.
I got you! Don't worry, you're not next!
So in the next 9 seconds, let's not bother at all to get out of the way of the trash compactor, which should be really easy to do at this point. Luckily for Eric and Charlie, this garbage truck has the added-on feature of magical brakes. I mean, you gotta hand it to Stephanie. And Armin.
Eric isn't Howard's biological son.
Which is weird because they cast an actor for Eric that looks very much like the actor who plays Howard. I guess Brenda had an affair with Howard's twin brother?
I mean, you predicted exactly what was gonna happen.
Yeah, let's go back to that for a second. Stephanie said earlier,
The trimmer could fall and hit the leaf blower guy, which causes him to blow stuff into the kid's eyes and then take the ball into his face.
which is exactly what happens to Julia. I mean, Steph didn't guess the trash can part of the scenario, but she still guessed enough correctly without a single vision. And I feel the need to remind you how we feel about coincidence and luck and coincidental luck around these parts.
Darlene, please do not encourage this.
Does Marty not at least somewhat believe that Steph could be onto something here? Because if he doesn't, then I'm starting to think he's the worst parent in this scenario. A scenario where the other parent abandoned her f***ing kids.
JB found someone who survived, but it doesn't say anything about who this JB was.
Iris had the forethought to draw a f***ing grill, but couldn't write down, by the way, JB works at the hospital in case you're curious.
Something River Hospital, Deep River, Peace River Hospital, Clear River.
If you think we're not going to send the name Clear River again, then welcome to the channel. You should stick around. I hear there will be brisket later. Sure, you got rid of the nuts from the trailer so that the allergic Bobby couldn't interact with them, but you threw them in your own backyard, which is also Bobby's backyard. Why not just throw them away?
Is that what you think? That I didn't want to be your mom?
I'm pretty sure that's what every kid thinks when you abandon your child!
I was raised by a woman who taught me to see death everywhere.
I understand Iris trying to train her kids on finding death traps, but did she ever tell them that as long as she was alive, they'd be okay? She totally figured out Death's hit list and what the rules were, so I'm surprised she didn't at least try to give them that solace. And if she didn't figure that out, why didn't she? This is the only time Hope River Hospital has ever made an appearance in one of these movies, and yet this is apparently where Bloodworth has been working the entire time, even though in the first movie he was a mortician.
The front desk told us we could find him down here.
That's another thing. Why the f*** did they not call first before coming down here? Hell, it's been decades since Iris sent her letters talking about JB. He might have retired or gone to another hospital or something. But also, the front desk sent random people off the street down to the morgue where an autopsy was being performed.
William John Bloodworth, but my friends call me JB.
It's always nice to see Tony Todd, but did we really need an origin story of his character? This resolution actually makes his appearances in all the previous films make even less sense. Why wouldn't he have chosen to explain his connection before this? Or if he was aware of the people from the previous films that shouldn't have existed in the first place, why wouldn't he have tried to help them on the front end?
A young woman named Kimberly Corman found herself on death's list. She died, but her doctor managed to bring her back, and that broke the chain.
And then she went on to star in a successful TV show called Criminal Minds, and is back on it because they brought it back on a streaming service because that's what we do with IPs now. Because unlike all of you, we never let them die. See the relevant pun I made there? I've got more if you'd like to hear them. Also, how the f*** do you cheat Death on a technicality? Why would Death care that you came back from a flatlining? Also, movie is suggesting a Final Destination and Flatliners and maybe even a Smile 2 crossover, and it's not ready to deliver the goods.
Why didn't Iris try that?
It's risky.
Is it though? On one hand, you die if you don't do anything. On the other hand, you might die if you try the Flatliners method.
For years, people have been coming to me for advice. Well, I'm tired. I'm done with all that.
You never helped in any meaningful way one time. How are you tired of the thing you never did?
So what? You're just gonna leave us here?
Dude, he told you 2 things you can do. Plus, you have a notebook full of craziness you could follow. What are you hoping for at this point, a vaccine?
I intend to enjoy the time I have left. Life is precious. Enjoy every single second. You never know when.
Look, I'm not sure how close to death Tony Todd was in real life at this point, but just to think these were his last words on celluloid is so poignant and is making me tear up a bit. R.I.P. good sir, you brought so many of us years of joy on television and in the cinema. Oh, so it's just that easy to turn on an MRI machine, huh? It has all the security hallmarks of a screensaver.
But there's a million ways to die in a hospital.
Please don't give Seth MacFarlane ideas, Stephanie.
Can I help you? Excuse me?
Why is this nurse so weirded out by a person in a waiting room in a hospital? Wouldn't that be one of the most common occurrences in her profession? People waiting in waiting rooms?
Me and you, we are going to fix things for everyone right now.
But will they? Even if they save Bobby, wouldn't that just jump the chain to Darlene, Stephanie, and Charlie? Is Eric planning on killing each of them and resuscitating them too? I would say this works, but considering it's a highly specialized piece of medical equipment, I'm going to go ahead and say nothing I've seen in this room actually works in a desired way. As I see Eric's dick-piercing boner, I just realized that these Final Destination writing rooms must be even crazier than the Gremlins 2 writing room Key and Peele sketched out. One person was like, so, what's the death we haven't done yet? And then someone else was like, well, we haven't had an MRI machine rip out of Prince Albert. So much for death killing biological family members. What the f*** was that scene at the tattoo parlor? The sin is that James Bond isn't here to say, well, that's what I call a spring fling. Yes, that's dumb. Am I going to apologize for it? No.
Why is Eric dead if he's not related to Iris?
When you f with death, things get messy.
Oh.
Nowhere is safe.
Except Iris's cabin.
You mean the cabin that Iris died at?
Outside is dangerous, but inside is the safest place that there is.
This burning rope would beg to differ.
He'll never let you get there on your own. But I can see him coming.
I love how Stephanie is somehow an Iris-level expert at seeing death signs now just because she looked at her notebook and randomly pieced together the way Eric might die. And remember, when she predicted the stuff with the leaf blower and the soccer ball, she was very randomly coming up with shit that really functioned more as a joke than a real vision. And Julia died instead.
Watch out!
What the fuck was Darlene thinking here? Like, this isn't even a scenario Death dreamed up. This is just terrible driving. We could have seen this movie already for callbacks, and I guess we kind of did for the Clear Rivers one, but god damn it, this log truck is so fucking annoyingly on point that I'm giving it 100 sins because I fucking hate its existence.
It's gonna be impossible to get through that gate.
Clearly Stephanie did when she left after Iris died, or whoever was there to take care of Iris's body did it. But they would have had to close the gate electronically and then navigated Iris's defenses to get back to their car. Anyway, why is this gate closed?
He's about to make a move. I don't know what it is.
Useful power that turned out to be. Fucking Stephanie. Having faith that ramming into a gate with a trailer is not going to trigger some sort of death trap.
Don't wait for me. Just get inside.
This bullshit. In just a couple minutes after their mom dies and he nearly dies and Stephanie is nearly drowning, Charlie finds a knife to cut the seatbelt. Darlene isn't in any more danger now than she would be walking to the house without self-proclaimed death seer Stephanie. Find the knife now and cut her loose so she can help be the escort. Honestly, the very idea that a spark from a motion detector light and a plant hanging precariously over a gas tank is exactly the kind of thing Iris would have made sure couldn't happen if she was such a high-functioning Death Eater. Entirely too much time spent on trying to make us believe Stephanie is dead here. Oh, it's a good thing Charlie told us he asked some girl out in the junior lifeguards earlier. That story wasn't just about potentially getting laid. It was laying the groundwork for his CPR skills. Anyway, after much consideration, I shall call this Chekhov's getting laid story.
Let's go home.
I mean, you guys are gonna walk from wherever bum place this is to your house? It's shocking you don't die on the way. You guys do realize you are next, right? I'm glad the movie remembered Marty and Paco because I did not. Jesus, why does Death have such a hard-on for this penny? Like, we may have to consider the fact that the kid who threw it at the beginning of the movie maybe truly rubbed some evil on this thing. Movie nearly makes me cream my jeans by having the exact 1960s sports car from the first shot of the movie run over these tracks in 2024.
Well, technically you weren't dead.
And Death was nice enough to wait for Steph and Charlie to get this explanation before going after them again. Death is nice like that.
If you were unconscious and Charlie got you breathing again, then your heart didn't stop.
Wait a minute! Are we supposed to believe that Stephanie and Charlie thought that Stephanie was dead when he did CPR on her? For fuck's sake, man, that is a huge leap of logic. And even if Stephanie did die and come back to life, wouldn't that mean Charlie is in danger? Even if they misunderstood the rules, why have they been walking around like death is no longer a thing? I didn't realize it before, but apparently Stephanie's nightmare included all the other stuff before the restaurant. So that's why she sees this car and gets a bad feeling from it. That was an incredibly expositional nightmare. Movie's crash scene is giving me way too many Speed 2 vibes. So Stephanie and Charlie die from giant logs getting Easter egged by one of the franchise's signature death objects. I'm beginning to think that logging should be banned in the Final Destination world. It kills more people than smoking.
The 700-foot Trilon rises above all else, and the circling helicline that leads into the Paris Fair's exhibit Democracy is a pathway to the future.
Kindly step all the way in, please, and make room for everyone. There's no turning back now.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
May I help you?
Hello, up here. We were in here earlier having dinner with our friend Sam I Am.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on here. This bandstand wasn't double bolted.
Ron Burgundy will read anything that is put on that teleprompter. And when I say anything, I mean nah.
Protecting the safety of the Queen is a task that's gladly accepted by police squad. For no matter how silly the idea of having a queen might be to us,
To serve men, it's a cookbook.
Gee, I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky. Hey everybody, here's some fun facts. The population in Thailand is 63 million people. It is twice the size of Wyoming. Its chief exports are textiles, footwear, and rice. Each year, approximately 13,000 people are killed in car accidents in Thailand.
I like turtles.